Straight Pass. Welcome to my review of Titans Season 2, Episode 1, titled Trigon. And if you remember last season, Episode 11, which was titled Dick Grayson, it ended with basically Robin giving in, or Dick Grayson giving in to his dark side, and Trigon trapping him into a like fake world, and him giving in to his darker impulses. So that way he was turned, okay, and that's how it ended with him being turned over, turned over to the dark side. Okay, and of course Rachel was distressed about that, of course, and Gar and Trigon and his wife was there, and that's how it ended, with Donna and Corey trapped outside of the house. Okay, and Dawn from Hawk and Dove waking up, okay, saying that they have to find Jason Todd. Okay, so that's where season 2, episode 1 begins. Okay, this review is going to have spoilers in it, because obviously, and this is where this was actually, I think, filmed last year with the but they decided to make the cliffhanger episode 11 instead of having 12 episodes, so hence season 2 episode 1. Anyway, this episode begins with Raven, of course, obviously distressed that Dick has turned to the dark side, and he's telling her, give in, give in, and Trigon meanwhile is telling his wife that I'll finally be all powerful once her heart officially breaks, and to do that, we'll basically invite all her friends and corrupt all her friends over to the dark side, and that's literally what he does. He, we see Hawk and Dove, they go to Wayne Manor to look for Jason Todd, and they actually find him there. He's like running amok because Bruce is not there and Alfred is not there, so he's basically trying, motorcycling through the mansion. And of course, when Hawk and Dove, come upon him, and they kind of introduce themselves, and they, of course, Hank Hall immediately dislikes him, thinks he's a show-off and everything else. But he said, listen, Raven, they tell him that Raven basically came to her in a dream and woke her up and said that they had to find her and find him so he can find, Dick and the rest of the Titans. So, he volunteers to go off and says basically he owes Dick from the last season, so off they go. Okay, and also we see outside the house, Donna and Corey, Corey's using her energy bolts to try to get inside, but of course it's not working. And Donna's telling her not to waste her energy. She says, you're using up the power for no good. You can't get in. And then obviously there's a reunion when we see all of them together. Hawk and Dove, Donna, Corey, and Jason Todd, and then Trigon allows them to come into the house. And of course, once they come into the house, he uses illusions to corrupt each and every one of them, so they turn to the dark side. Okay, and when they all are corrupted, nobody's left but Gar and Raven. And literally the possessed Titans start beating the crap out of Gar, being to the point where they render him unconscious. And of course Raven is begging Trigon not to do this, but he said, that's exactly what he's needing. He needs her heart to be broken. Of course her heart is broken. Okay, and he becomes, he turns actually to his demon form. You actually see him in his demon form. Okay, and he actually, his wife, she's happy with everything else, and she wonders what the next step is. He said, that's the problem with you, and he basically snaps her neck. So that's the end of his wife Angela. She's dead. Okay, and of course, then we see Gar, who we thought was unconscious, beat to death. We see him actually lying. He actually changed it to a snake form. Okay, and he changes back, and him and Raven try to come up with a plan to try to convert the Titans back. And Raven thinks that that Dick is the key, that she has to reach him, and she actually goes into his mind and actually convinces him to not give in to his darker impulses, and of course he snaps out of it. Okay, and then of course Raven goes, now that she's been embedded with the jewel that her father gave into her, that she has her full power. He thinks they're going to rule the world, but she has other plans, and she confronts him, and she rather handily beats him and banishes him away. Okay, so all the Titans are back to normal. Okay, everything's okay now, and in this one we see the reporters are there, talking to everybody, and the police are, wondering what this phenomenon was that that was there temporarily, and that's when you see the shot that you see in the trailer for season 2, where a reporter is interviewing one of the local cops, and of course Jason Todd can't help himself, and he screams into jumps in front of the camera and says, "The Titans are back, bitches!" Okay, and of course, who's watching that? Slade Wilson. Okay, and you can see him. He looks like he's been through things, and he has a longer beard than normal, and he looks like he's completely out of it. But once he sees on the TV, he sees Jason Todd, aka Robin, and him saying Titans, that kind of triggers something in him that reawakens him, and we literally see him go back to his old house. You see him with a quick shave, and he looks back to normal, and he has a guy that's apparently working for him and telling him how I kept the weapons clean and all this stuff, and it looks like he's back in business. Okay, like that little bit, seeing the Titans and hearing the Titans thing kind of reawoken something in him. Okay, and so it kind of ends with him that way, and then we, of course, flash back to the Titans, where you see, they're starting to separate. Hank and Dawn decide to go back to their own life, and Corey decides to now that Raven's safe and the threat to Trigon is over, she decides to stay behind, and you see Donna, she says her goodbyes to Dick, and then Dick, Jason, Gar, and Raven, they decide to go off, stay on the road, and they hit the road. They say their goodbyes, and then they hit the road. Okay, so we just have Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Gar, and Raven, all in one car, and they're driving, and they hit the road. And then the next thing we see Wayne Manor again, and then we see actually Ian Glenn, the actor from Game of Thrones. He appears as Bruce Wayne, and there's Dick there, and they sit down and they have a conversation, and where Dick tells him exactly why why he thought he had to leave, and why he was blaming Bruce for all this, the dark things that he had to do and stuff, and that he felt he had to get away. But he basically apologizes to him and said, "Listen, I don't think it was you. You did the best that you could." And of course, Bruce, is receptive to this, and he accepts it. And then Dick says he needs one favor from him, and and then you see he says, "Under one condition, I'll grant you that favor, but under one condition." And then the next thing we see is out in San Francisco, we see this group entering this tower, okay, Titan's tower, and you see them marvel at all the room and all the spaces and stuff and all the weapons and stuff, of course. And then so of course we know this is actually the Titan's tower, and that's where we have Dick, Jason Todd, Gar, and Raven. Okay, and it looks like he's gonna form a new Titans group again, and that's how it ends. And this was a pretty good episode. Like I said, the cut off, the beginning part of it, the 2/3 of it was from last season. They kind of wrapped that up like halfway through, and then the rest of it was them saying their goodbyes to everyone, and then the conversation with Dick and Bruce, and them kind of resolving their little conflict together, and then them heading off to San Francisco to the Titans Tower in the beginning of looks like of a new Titans team. Okay, so I thought this was a pretty good episode altogether, and it was pretty good. Like I said, I like Ian Glenn. I loved him in Game of Thrones, but let's be honest, kind of never gonna buy him as Bruce Wayne. I could buy him as Alfred, but maybe they should have just cast someone different. They probably just did it for star power and stuff. Ian Glenn, because he's he's famous and everybody's knows him from Game of Thrones, but maybe they should have just cast just somebody that more Bruce Wayne looking like. I know he's trying to hide his accent, Ian Glenn and stuff, and he's a good actor and he does the best that he could with the part. But I think they should have cast probably somebody else as Bruce Wayne, just an older actor like he did, but just someone with a darker look and just more Bruce Wayne like looking like. Okay, just my opinion about that. Okay, but anyway, again, good episode. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Superboy's coming. Ravager, of course, Deathstroke, and of course, we heard that Blackfire is coming as well. So we're gonna and I'm interested. It looks like in upcoming episodes that I guess Corey's gonna be hanging out with Donna, which is I think is a good thing and stuff. And then eventually they are going to come together, and I think they are going to meet Superboy. I think around episode 5, I believe. At this by, and then of course we're going to see exactly. We got Jericho, another son of Slade Wilson. So I'm just going to figure out how they figure into everything. Ravager and Jericho, since they're the kids uh, of Deathstroke. So we're going to figure out. Of course, figure one of them is going to be a mole, obviously, to get into the Titans, so he can get in close to them to do what he does. And then, of course, I think we're going to learn about the backstory about the Titans the first go around, and whatever happened to Aqualad and all that stuff. So I enjoyed it a lot. Anyway, let me know what you think of Titans Season 2, Episode 1. Trigon, what do you think of it? What do you think going forward? And what do you think of this episode? And feel free to leave comments down below. Let me know what you think. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long. Take care.